Good morning, awakening beautiful souls who love to go direct. No more circling around the wagons, right? But direct access. We have absolute access to the absolute access. So dial 111, ask for the one, and tell the one you're my only one. I'm telling you, and you know this in your heart of hearts, that all God wants is your heart of hearts. All the spirit is waiting for is your heart of hearts, my dears. Not necessarily what you think you know, not necessarily because you have a request to make, which is great. You can ask the universe anything and everything, and it's ready to oblige you. But what the divine is waiting for, I do believe, and Yogananda says this, is that God has everything already, but what He doesn't have is your love. Yeah. We could sit for hours and hours in meditation. And what we're dealing with is mostly our mind thinking, right? So we're going to address this a little bit this morning. But really, what an opportunity it is every time you decide to meditate, every time you decide to, be in a group that meditates or come to this sacred soul meditation to meditate. Every time, I want to just put a little sentence in your beautiful heart of hearts, my dear, since that's what God is after. 100%, that's all she or he, it wants is just a little taste of your true self, just a little taste of what's really the deepest part of you that is aware and that you are focused on. And it has everything to do with that union. What is yoga? Union, oneness with the divine. So, but let this one sentence give you a clue on what we're up to today. Let the silence gather around you. Okay, the mind stuff is going on, right? So it gathers around us usually all day long, every day, for lifetimes, right? But what about this idea of this infinite silence, this this silence that is a specific vibration, a vibrational silence, right? That has really no vibration, if you understand. But anyway, what we're asking for is just let's just switch the switch, and instead of having the mind stuff be the one that's going on, the silence gather around you until your strength begins to hum again, until it begins to hum again. So visualize right now that we are in a sacred temple and that we've come here maybe not to have any kind of intention for what we want from the meditation, so much as we're just going into the mystery. We're going into the mystery. The ancient mystery schools, my dears, just like the ancient Egyptians. All right. So we have a little reading about how they go about it and how the indigenous warriors and warrioresses go about it, right? So that we can be direct, that we are not getting involved or influenced by what so-called religion is saying, what so-called the news is saying, what the other whatever people are saying about anything, quite frankly. We got to let the silence come in until our minds are silenced and we are just patient as patience can be in sitting in that stillness, in sitting in the silence, and sitting in the mystery of what's going on within me when I sit to meditate. Can I just observe it for a change? Can I just witness it and be patient and not have any conditions on what my meditation needs to be today or any day, my dears? All right, so you get the gist. I hope your eyes are closed. I hope and I know your mind is open and your heart is just blazing. It's just blazing with love. So that's part of what comes out of the silence is God's love. When everything else is left over, when you let go of everything else, what is left over is love. So close your eyes. Let's take a trip into an ancient mystery school temple this morning. All right? So send a little prayer up. Say a little prayer for me forever, forever. Send up a beautiful prayer to your divine lover. Just from the heart, my dear. Simple, direct. No intervening of anything or anyone or even the mind stuff. Just something pure, simple, and really, really you from your heart space. As if there's only one purpose in your life. This moment in communion, this moment in patience, that you can go into the silence and wait and wait and wait and observe and observe and observe until the magic happens, until the mystery unfolds. So send up a prayer that only you can send to your one beloved. So let's get a taste of what the ancient mystery school temples were all about. I gathered this morning, wrote it out so we could have a taste of going direct without any interference to the absolute access to the absolute. The Egyptians, they didn't use manuals to unlock the timeless wisdom. They didn't read books that talk about the timeless wisdom. They used portals. And what a portal it is right now in this direct oneness union, always, never, ever apart union with the beloved. It's already made. It's already made in the shade for us. This direct access to the absolute. So the ancients used portals, and each portal could be opened by a specific vibration. So let me just ask you, what do you think your vibration is right now? Now, don't think too much, because as soon as you intellectualize this, whatever it is you're after goes away. It flees, it runs. As soon as you intellectualize something. But I'm just wondering, and maybe you are too, what is your vibration? And don't leave it up for grabs. Decide what it is. You and God are completely connected right now, always, directly. The only meaning of your life is this access to the absolute whenever you want it. So these portals that the ancients used could be opened by specific vibration, my dear. So choose wisely what yours is right now. Is it from the heart? Is it from the longing you have and the acute awareness for what it is you really are here for? What is your purpose today? Maybe that's a clue. What is your purpose for today? In the sense of getting to know the mystery of what's happening inside of you. The Egyptians didn't speak in doctrine. They lived by resonance. Resonance. So as you decide what your vibration is, it's a resonance. It's what your heart really, really is focused on now. Not your mind, but your heart. That true, beautiful heart, sacred heart that you have will give you a clue to what your resonance is and vibration is. In the mystery schools of the ancient Egypt initiates, they weren't seeking for more information, my dears. They were seeking keys, seeking certain keys, Keys, that would reopen and reawaken the soul's ancient memory. Keys. I'm going to talk about one this morning. These keys always exist. They're always available. They are within you now, dormant, yet alive. And the moment to use them has come, my dears. That's why you have come to this meditation this morning, whether you know it or not. So one vital first key to discover is what is called vibrational silence. Vibrational silence. It's the ability, let me rephrase this, to go into a sacred space, which is, of course, within you, but you might also have a beautiful little altar at home, or you have a temple you go to, or a church, whatever you would say is your sacred temple. But let it be used for one thing: to gather around yourself the silence, the vibrational silence. No thought, no wanting anything, just a pure heart, just a pure intention. That's all. This is not the silence of absence, my dears. of the void. This is not that. It is the silence of absolute presence. That special attunement that you have with the beloved, with the source of your life, that wonderful connective place that you have with the source of your life. Is the silence of absolute presence. So we go into our sacred temple and we sit and we witness, longing only for one thing, that in that vibrational stillness, the divine presence will show itself to you, will give itself to you, because it's already you. So the silence of absence is the silence of absolute presence. There is no absence, my dears, when you are one with the divine. There's only presence. So in the ancient temples, initiates would remain in complete silence. See, they just gathered this consciousness we're having right now of absolute silence, vibrational resonance of the silence. And so they would remain in complete silence for days in the ancient temples, not to hear something, not to hear something, not to have some outcome happen, but simply to clear the internal noise. This is the purpose of your temple. To sit with such a, like a dog, so patient, so completely dependent on its master, waiting patiently for what they rely on for their life. The master's presence, the master's caring, the one who feeds them, who keeps them safe. This is a beautiful attitude to have. As you sit in this whirlwind, usually, of mind stuff, now becoming only the presence. And you sit in this vibrational silence. And while your mind keeps yakking at you, the soul waits in stillness. You just wait in stillness, just like your dog will do until you put the food put the food in their little food bowl. They wait. Vibrational silence doesn't isolate you from the world, my dears. It realigns you with your origin. The true voice of your being can only be heard in the center of stillness. It's not isolation at all. It's not solitary confinement at all. It's back to your origin. Oneness with all life. The sacredness of all life. And it is in this consciousness that your frequency begins to remember itself. As you probe into the mystery of yourself. As you go to your temple for no other reason but to sit. To use your pure heart as your focus and to wait patiently for the noise to quiet down. So let me share with you something now. Another key, besides this vibrational stillness, is the use of a symbol that reminds you of all this. Nasaref, there's that amulet that some of the devotees wear. Gold, silver, and copper amulet, whether it's around their wrist or their upper arm, as a symbol. So let me, in closing today, read you, since we talked about the ancient mystery schools of Egypt. This is the same concept without intellectualization of the roots of the native lands, the roots of the native lands. And this is entitled, She Who Holds the Feather of Dawn. She who holds the feather of the dawn. She stands between silence and sunrise, wrapped in the red breath of her ancestors. She stands between silence and sunrise, wrapped in the red breath of her ancestors, each thread of her cloak, woven from stories that never died. They only waited. And in her palms, a single feather glows. So this key that the ancients use, besides the vibrational silence, is the symbol, my dears. So in her palms, her symbol for her awakening was a single feather that glows. It's not taken. She didn't take the feather, but was gifted the feather as if the sky itself bowed low to meet her courage. She does not speak, yet her every heartbeat in the earth leans closer. Every heartbeat. As Yoganandaji says, let every heartbeat be a new word in your endless love lyric to God. Her every heartbeat in the earth leans closer, for there is a language older than tongues, spoken only by those who remember how to listen with the soul. With the soul. The wind moves through her hair like the voices of grandmothers, telling her she is not small. She is not alone. She is every prayer that ever rose from the ashes of a broken world. That she is every prayer that ever rose from the ashes of a broken world and still chooses to fly. And in that quiet moment where she chooses to fly, she's a bridge between what was taken and what will return, between grief and flame, between the fallen feather that she holds in the palm of her hand, between the fallen feather, as she's on a bridge. She's making a bridge to the divine. And she is getting in return what was taken between grief and flame, between the fallen feather and the rising sun. So you might think in terms of two things today: the vibrational silence and the symbol that reminds you of your magic. And your soul purpose and your union and communion with the source of all that is. So today, my dears, let the silence gather around you until your strength begins to hum again. And that is that, and this is so. So be it. Aho. Did we go somewhere in timelessness today, my dears? Did you go somewhere that you didn't know you were going to go, but you're never not there? You know what I'm saying? Did you ever know that you went somewhere that you never knew was there, but you're always there? Yeah. Just to bring some beautiful, awareness, maybe an angle on something that can just make your day the brightest and the most fulfilling day of all your days, even though there's a lot maybe on your to-do list today. Sarah, I know you're getting busy for a radical shift in your life. Lynn, I'm sure you're busy with things, but not too busy to be able to recognize that you're surrounded by the silence. And it's just asking, hey, do you have a moment? Can I have a moment of your time? It's asking. Can you just sit in yourself for a few moments here and there? Or sit for a longer time, maybe if you have time, and just be in that stillness, just witnessing and watching and keeping that mind at bay by listening and watching instead of letting the mind dictate to you what you're doing in that meditation. Yeah. So it's magic time, my dears. It's get your feather, pull out your charms, whatever is something that can trigger to you your origin, your origin as a divine child of the infinite possibilities. Yeah, wow. So that was kind of the reason why we went the way we went this morning. So enjoy that, huddle into that, surrender into that. All right. And we'll all have the best day of our lives. How's that? All right. So thank you so much for coming on the love line to the divine, my dears. And let's just our put our shades on, our God glasses, are that pure heart that knows, none else knows but that pure heart of yours, right? That's the one. That's the gift of all gifts, that sacred heart of yours, right? So we use that sacred heart to let it do what its job is, and that is to love, 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 so that we can care, 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 care. Remember the Care Bears? Remember the Care Bears? Yeah. So we can be Care Bears, right? And that in being a Care Bear, then we share, right? We just we live in abundance. We are abundance. We are one with everything that is beautiful and noble and true. And so that is what we share without even knowing that we're sharing it. All right. So thanks for your smiles, my dears, and thanks for your open heart and mind. And thank you for coming on this live as well. All right. Much love to you. We'll see you again. Until tomorrow. Have a great one. Have a great one, my dear. You're welcome, Tara. Much love and much light to you all. Thank you again for being you.